Is it a boy or a girl? It's the first question everybody asks about you, about all of us, when we're born. It's the foundation of our identity. Everything else builds on top of that. But the question we really got to know is, when I declare it's a boy or a girl, is that a declaration about your sex, or is that about your gender?
The first thing you need to know about gender is that it's not the same as sex. Sex comes from biology, although that does not mean that it's a binary or clearly understood.
When we say, is it a boy or a girl, how do we determine that? We have a quick look. Has it got a penis? If it is, it's a boy. If it's not, it's a girl. What happens when a child is born? You look and you can't quite decide, is it a boy or is it a girl? Well, they do all the sex testing to try and figure it out, and then somebody makes a judgment, because somewhere around we've got to write on a form, it's male or it's female. Why can't we just let the child grow up and help it figure out the answer to that question? We can't. We have to fix it. And sometimes we get that wrong.
Your gender identity is not constructed by you. The repeated stylized actions that make up your gender are taught to you and enforced. Those who are gendered male are often expected to maintain very different identities from those gendered female.
Gender is a social construction. The term gender was defined largely by the feminists in the 1970s to describe those aspects of our sexual identity that are socially constructed. Now, that affects everything. It's about our language, it's about our culture, jobs, education, all the sorts of things. Now, these are all man-made rules about how we should perform on the basis of a quick inspection of which genitalia you've got. And that sets things up for the rest of your life. When we put the pink blanket or the blue blanket on, it's actually a message to everybody else saying, look here, these are the rules about how you now engage with this child. This is what you do. And it's coming from every direction. You ask kids about their gender, they will tell you from about the age of 3 what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. And if you ask them why they can't wear different clothes, they will tell you, because people will laugh at me.
Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me.
What makes you female? What makes you male? What if you don't fit into one specific category? For these two teens, the end of the school year means one step closer to adulthood and another step closer in figuring out who they are. As society continues to understand terms such as lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, there's another group that we're only just beginning to learn about. Individuals who don't identify exclusively as male or female, or those who identify as both, are non-binary.
For me, what it means to be gender fluid is the only word that I understand now to describe the type of person that I am, which is basically a free spirit. I never seen myself as a boy or girl.
I might one day wake up and be like, I'm a girl today, and I feel very effeminate, and I choose to wear effeminate clothing. And then another day I might wake up and decide I'm much more masculine, I'm a boy today.
It's really, really tough because we live in a world where gender is perceived as binary, and almost everyone, like 99% of the population, fits into this binary, and a lot of society revolves around this. Bathrooms, forms, clothing, toys, everything is just so gendered unnecessarily, I think.
I don't identify as a girl. I identify as a girl and a boy and what have you, and everything in between, everything around it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Some people I've come into encounter with, I've tried to explain my identity to them, or I've come out to them and said that my pronouns are he, she, them, and they would completely dismiss it. They would put it out of their minds like, oh, well, I don't know what that means, so I'm not gonna make an effort.
This isn't something we're hearing a lot about in mainstream media because I think its recognition is relatively new. I think we have been dealing with people, or there have been people who don't fit into either of those boxes, and I think now we're just recognizing it and also starting to remove some of the stigma.
A lot of my friends, they don't think twice about it. They don't care. They see people as people, and I'm hoping everyone will be like that.
I hope for the future that so many people are going to begin to realize that it's not going to be the end of the world when people start to be themselves, and people are just going to be consistent in their love and energy, and people are just going to be more open and just lovable, and we'll begin to see a really exciting revolution, because we'll start to see all these little people coming out of woodwork we've never seen before, coming out as gender fluid or lesbian or androgynous or heterosexual with an inclination towards feminine men. It's crazy. So we're all going to see all these little colours, the spectrum shining through.
We're gonna keep evolving. Just like we were evolving in '68, we're gonna keep evolving now. I'm optimistic, but I mean, I'm always gonna be like this, so people will have to start dealing with it.
My hope for gender fluidity is that it gets a little bit more recognition, that it gets a bit more understanding. One cannot simply say that somebody else is not a man or not a woman based on their own perceptions. And that if I am to say that I am a woman, then I am. Other genders, like agender and gender fluid, are maybe going to still be kind of in the background for a while.
There are people who are girls in their heart, and there are people who are boys in their heart, and there are people who are girls and boys in their heart, and then there are people who are other genders in their heart that we don't even have names for because we're such a limited culture, and that Z is a person who is both a girl and a boy and everything in between in her heart.
Gender boundaries will continue to be questioned and redefined. Some may ultimately identify with a single gender. Others will go their whole lives as non-binary.
Challenge these rigid and stupid rules, because once you start to challenge them, the life for me and all the other people who have a gender identity issue gets easier and easier. And that's really what we've got to do. When we have the same freedom for men as currently is available for women, we will start to see a drop in the mental health problems, the suicides, the victimization, the bullying, the harassment, the hate crime, all of that will start to go away. And here's just one simple rule that you can live by. It's the fundamental principle of all human rights. All I want is to be treated with dignity and respect, to be allowed to be me, without fear for my safety. So I just ask you, treat everyone with dignity and respect.
This is me. in the flood, gonna drown him out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me.